Welcome back, degenerates. It is week 7 of the NFL, and in today's episode, I'll be giving you my small risks and big rewards for this week's games. So today, I'll be giving you the opinions on money line options, the bets against the spreads, and of course, the over/under totals for this week's games. So, for those of you who do follow along, I always use Proline Stadium because I like to keep it Canadian. And right now, it's time to beat the odds. Let's go. All right. So before we get going, please leave a like to support the channel. And if you want to follow along in the future, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are notified when our next video comes out. Let's jump into this week's spread. Pulling up the first game of the week. Atlanta visiting Miami. We have Atlanta favored by 2.5 points and an over-under of 48 points. I think here the safe bet is take Atlanta. Miami is coming, into this game, and it's a game that it's kind of a must-win. But Devontae Parker's still questionable. Preston Williams still questionable. Tua really hasn't done much, and that defense looks brutal. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Atlanta is a phenomenal team, and I would never actually condone betting on Atlanta. But I think this week you got to roll with Atlanta money line. I do think the game will be tight, so you could probably take the Dolphins spread of 2.5. But I also think that this game will be over 48 points, as neither defense is really phenomenal. So we'll move on to the next one. Carolina at the Giants. The Giants don't have an actual football team right now. They're making the teams like Baltimore, Cleveland, like those guys are healthy compared to the Giants right now. It's kind of crazy. We have Carolina going in and favored by 3 points. So we have the Giants as a 3-point dog at home and an over-under total of 42.5. I think obviously the safe bet here is Carolina money line at 1.6. I would even take the spread. I think they'll win by more than a field goal. CMC is still out. Sam Darnold hasn't looked awesome. Carolina in general has kind of been the NFC version of Denver. You know, their schedule started off really great, and now they're showing that they're having a hard time beating good teams. But I don't think the Giants are a good team. Sorry, any Giants fans out there, but I think that the safe bet is Carolina. And I think this will be a sloppy game, so if you really want to, I think the under is probably the way to go on that one as well. Moving on to another 2 o'clock game, the Cincinnati Bengals visit my favorite team, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are favored at home by 6.5, so they got to win by a touchdown to beat the spread with an over-under of 45.5. I think that anyone here would take Baltimore money line. I don't know if Cincinnati can go into M&T Bank Stadium and just outright win the game, but I've seen enough division rivalry games, especially in the AFC North, to know that the play here is the Cincinnati Bengals spread of 6.5. The Ravens have been really good this year against the spread, but it's been sloppy, except for the win last week against the Chargers. I think the over 45.5 will probably hit. I think that both offenses are firing very well, and neither defense is playing up to their potential. So I think the money line at Baltimore, I think the spread of Cincinnati, and I would take the over total as well for this game here. All right, Kansas City going into Tennessee. Tennessee coming off a crazy big win against the Buffalo Bills, and now they get to take on the other AFC contender, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 4 points on the road against the Titans and an over-under of 57.5. Now, I think that the money line for Kansas City is probably the best bet here. However, I don't think they'll win by more than 4. I think that Tennessee is a decent offense. If A.J. Brown and Julio Jones can participate in this game, you'll probably see those odds shift a little bit more too. But right now, as I'm recording on Saturday, please keep in mind all these can change within the blink of an eye. I think that Kansas City money line, Tennessee spread, and I would definitely take the over as high as it is, 57.5. This is going to be a barn burner. These are the two weakest defenses in the NFL right now, and two of the best offenses, of course. So I think that we're gonna take the over in this game. I'll probably bet the over. All right, the Jets at New England. Big time rivalry going forward here. We've got Zach Wilson and Mac Jones. The Patriots are favored at home by 7 points, which I think is a lot. And the over-under is 42.5. I think the safe bet is New England money line, but I'll be taking the spread here for the Jets. And I'm probably going to take the over on the 42.5. This will probably be like a 26-20 game for the Patriots is my best guess if I had to put a number on it. The Washington football team goes into Green Bay as a 7.5 point dog. 47.5 over under. I mean, this, again, the safe bet, Green Bay money line. I don't think that Washington goes in and wins this game, especially not in Green Bay. I think 7.5 points might be a lot. Yeah, I think you take the money line Green Bay, you take the spread of Washington. I think they can keep this within 7 points, and I think you take the over of the 47.5. Again, if I had to choose, I would probably take. I'm probably gonna take the Washington spread. The Detroit Lions at the Los Angeles Rams. The Stafford Revenge Show. The Rams are very heavily favored here for obvious reasons. They're at home. The Lions play with a lot of heart, but they just don't win football games. The over-under is 50.5, and they are laying 16 points to the home team. That seems like a lot, but I think you gotta. McVay is a player's quarterback. He's gonna want Matt Stafford to showcase what that trade was all about, and I really don't see the Lions being able to stop him and that high flying offense. I think the safe bet, obviously, money line, 6 cents to the dollar for the Rams, but I think the spread is fine. I think they're probably going to win by 20 plus points, and I'm definitely taking the over here as well. I think the Rams can easily get 35 of those points on their own, and just really just lay a smack down on the Lions going forward. All right, we have another evening game here. Sorry, the last game was an evening game as well. We have Philadelphia going into Las Vegas. Vegas is favored by 3 at home with an over-under of 48.5. I'm probably gonna take the Philadelphia Eagles across the board here. I think that's a really juicy payout for a money line in a game where the Vegas Raiders haven't really proven that they're a phenomenal football team. They started off strong. They had two really strong wins, but turns out the Steelers aren't that great, and Baltimore gave them a lucky win and haven't lost one since. I think Philadelphia needs this one. I think they can go into Las Vegas and take one from the Raiders. So I'm going to take the money line, I'm going to take the spread, and I'm going to take the over. Because if Philadelphia wants to win this game, they will have to put up some points, and I think the 48.5 is very doable for them. Chicago Bears at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 13 at home with an over-under of 47 points. It's Tampa Bay money line without a doubt. Chicago's not going to go into Tampa Bay and win this game. I mean, obviously it's the NFL. Anything can happen, but that's why the odds are 5.75. Highly doubt it'll happen. That being said, I think 13 points may be a lot. Chicago's defense is very stout. I think Justin Fields can keep the game alive enough as it is. So I'm going to take moneyline Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the 13 points for the underdogs. So I'm going to take those 13 for Chicago, and I'm going to take the over of 47 in this game here. Houston at Arizona. This is the biggest spread difference in the NFL this week, and that's saying a lot considering the Rams had 16 points on the Lions. We have Arizona at home favored by 18 points with an over-under of 47.5. It's Arizona money line. It's Arizona spread. You got to give 14 points to Hopkins' revenge game here. Houston doesn't want to win games. At least they shouldn't, as an organization. They want some higher picks. I mean, you can't say that because every NFL team goes in it and they want to win football games. But I mean, right now it's draft capital. That's probably why they're holding back on Tyrod Taylor as well. The over under, I'm taking the over 47.5. If you're gonna lay that many points on Arizona, I think that you just have to take the over and just be safe with that. The Sunday night game, crazy weather in this game, in the Bay Area. Indianapolis goes into San Francisco. San Francisco's favored by 4 points, and the over under is 43. Right off the hop, take the under in this game. It's going to be messy. It's going to be sloppy. Two decent defenses. Two mediocre offenses. Carson Wentz has looked a lot better than he normally has. Very little interceptions this year, a couple fumbles, but he's getting pressured a lot, but he's handling it well. If T.Y. Hilton is back, which he might be, I expect the odds to change a bit more. I would take San Fran money line. I don't think Indy can go into San Francisco and win the game, but I also like the spread for the Colts as well. +4. I think they can keep this within 3 points or so. And I'm taking the under. Again, the under is the safe bet here, where it's just going to be sloppy. And our Monday night game, New Orleans at Seattle. The home dogs, 5-point underdogs at home without Russell Wilson playing. It's tough to see those odds change, and it makes sense where they're at with New Orleans playing the way they are. This is a tough one because New Orleans beats good teams, but often loses to bad teams. I think I'm taking the New Orleans money line. I think that's the safe bet, but I think 5 points might be too much. Even with Geno Smith at the helm, I do believe that offense is good enough at running the ball and making some pass plays occur that I think they can stay within 5. However, I would see this probably being a sloppy game, and I would probably take the under in this one as well. So there we have it. So what I'll do in my last part of this show here is a quick little segment called Lay It Small on the Line. What I've done is I take a parlay between 4 to 6 different picks from all the different options that we just went through, and we put $100 as a number. I usually do $10 myself, so just move the decimal point 1. But this is a bet that I think is quite possible. It's good odds, and if you put a little bit of money on it, you could be pretty happy with the payout. So let's pull it up here. This week, we're taking the Carolina Panthers to beat the Giants by more than 3 points. Again, the Giants are beat up, and Carolina needs a win. Sam Darnold has looked okay, but I think this is a game where he can look great. We're also going to be adding the Jets to stay within 7 of the New England Patriots. I think that after a bye week and going into game 2 of this rivalry this year, I think Zach Wilson and the Jets are going to be able to put some points on the board, and their defense has looked way better than anyone has expected. New England just lost a really tight game to Dallas, so don't get me wrong, I think that they're okay, but I also think that the Patriots are just a mediocre team. They're the Dolphins. They're the Jets. I think 7 points is too much, so we're going to throw the Jets on this one. I think we're taking the over in the Lions-Rams game. I think that's a smart bet. I think that Matt Stafford is going to just absolutely light up his old team, and it's going to be hard to watch if you're a Lions fan. Take the over, 50.5 points. I think the Rams can put up 35 at least on their own against a Lions defense that just can't really seem to stop much. And then lastly, we're going to add in the Indianapolis Colts on the Sunday night game to stay within 4 points of the San Francisco 49ers. They could outright win that game. I don't know. I don't think they will. But that being said, I think 4 points is too much, and I think Indianapolis loses close games. That's just what they do. Sorry, I really need to drink there. A little bit of tea. But yeah, so in this wager, if we were to wager $100, you could win back $13.86. So there you have it. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the show if you want to follow along for the rest of the season. I'll be doing this every week along with my other options for talking about fantasy waiver wire sleepers and talking about stories along the NFL as well. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys find this very helpful, and I hope the best for your bets this week. And if there's something that you think I'm wrong about, or if there's something you really like, or if there's a couple bets or parlays that you think I should take a peek at, I am very much open to that. So leave me some comments down below, and I'm out.